Good morning, students. Today we will discuss the second law of thermodynamics. In last video we will explain or discuss the topic entropy. In case of entropy, for spontaneous process, entropy always positive. On that base, second law of thermodynamics may be defined as the entropy for spontaneous process always be positive. Entropy for spontaneous process always be positive. Or all spontaneous process are thermodynamically irreversible. That means all spontaneous process they occur naturally are thermodynamically irreversible. That means thermodynamically they can't be reversed. Without the help of external energy, all the spontaneous processes cannot be reversed. If a process is spontaneous, it will be continue. If you want to reverse it, if you want to reverse the spontaneous process, what happen? You will apply some external energy. That means without the help of external forces, spontaneous process can't be reversible. Or complete conversion of heat into work or vice versa is impossible without leaving the effect elsewhere. That means some wastage is there. If you want to convert heat into work, it will be okay, but some heat energy will be wasted in the surrounding. Or you can say entropy of universe always increasing. Entropy of universe always increasing. For spontaneous process, because universe have all the spontaneous process. Non-spontaneous processes require energy. Then our next topic is the Gibbs free energy. Next topic is Gibbs free energy. Gibbs free energy is represented by G. It do not have any definition wise, but it have mathematical definition. G is equal to H minus Ts. G is the Gibbs free energy, H is the enthalpy or heat content, T is the absolute temperature and S is the entropy. It is the Gibbs free energy. Beta, Gibbs free energy is state function. It is not a path function. It is state function. That means for initial state and final state only. For initial state, Gibbs free energy is G1 is equal to H1 minus Ts1. Temperature remain constant. Beta, temperature remain constant. For final state, again temperature remain constant. Then Gibbs free energy for final state is H2 minus Ts2. Change in Gibbs free energy. Change in Gibbs free energy. That is G2 minus G1 represented by delta G. Beta, G2 minus G1 represented by delta G. It will be putting the value of G2 and G1, H2 minus Ts2 minus this one, H1 minus Ts1. This is the value of G1. Then H2 minus H1. This minus, temperature remain constant, minus minus plus, S2 is of minus, this is the minus, so S2 minus S1, beta delta H minus T delta S. This is known as Gibbs free energy change or Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. This is Gibbs free energy change. Beta, Gibbs free energy change. Explain the free energy. Mathematical definition of Gibbs free energy is there, but Gibbs define the free energy is that thermodynamically quantity, that means Gibbs free energy is thermodynamic quantity of a system, thermodynamic quantity of a system, that is the decrease in the value, decrease in its value during a process, decrease in its value during a process is equal to the maximum possible useful work done. If a system perform maximum useful work done, then value of delta G is negative. That means if process is spontaneous, delta S positive, beta for spontaneous process. We can say delta G negative, delta S positive. Process is spontaneous. Beta, according to this small derivation, Gibbs free energy is decreased for the system whose work done, useful work done is maximum. That means if any system has maximum useful work done, the Gibbs free energy is negative. Or you can say if delta G is negative, process is spontaneous. Or you can say for spontaneous process, Gibbs free energy decrease. For spontaneous process, Gibbs free energy decrease. Now, Gibbs free energy change and useful work done. Gibbs free energy change and useful work done. Useful work done. How will you explain it? Beta, according to first law of thermodynamics, according to first law, that is delta U is equal to Q plus W. Q is equal to delta U minus W. We have work of expansion, so W is positive. We have two type of work. Work of expansion plus work of non-expansion. Work of expansion, work of non-expansion. Beta, work of expansion is P delta V plus non-expansion. This non-expansion work done is known as mechanical work done and also known as useful work done. Also known as useful work done. So, Q is equal to delta H plus work of useful. Why it is delta H? Because change in enthalpy is equal to delta U, change in internal energy plus pressure volume work done. Putting the value of delta U plus P delta V here, it is equal to delta H plus useful work done. Now, according to entropy, delta S is equal to amount of heat required with change in temperature. You will calculate Q is equal to T delta S. Q is equal to T delta S. Put the value of Q in this equation. T delta S is equal to delta H plus useful work done. Clear? Now, useful work done is equal to beta T delta S minus delta H. minus delta. This delta H come here in minus state, and our Gibbs free energy is equal to delta H minus T delta S. That means if whole equation is multiplied by minus, that is negative useful work done is equal to minus T delta S plus delta H, or you can say delta G is equal to minus useful work done. So we can explain Gibbs free energy change is decrease when system done maximum useful work done. That means system has maximum work done, value of delta G is that much amount negative, that means decrease. So we can say delta G negative, process is spontaneous. If delta G positive, process is non-spontaneous. Or delta Z zero, process is in equilibrium. Process is in equilibrium. These signs are totally opposite to the signs of entropy change. These signs are totally different from the signs of entropy change. Now, how will you calculate the system is how much spontaneous or non-spontaneous? That is on the basis of Gibbs free energy. That will be on the basis of Gibbs free energy. That is, beta Gibbs free energy depends upon two factors. One is delta H, another is T delta S. One is delta H, another one is T delta S. Case 1, if both delta H and T delta S are positive, when both are positive, then what is the value of delta H, delta G? Value of delta G depends upon these two factors, and we will say both are positive. Then delta G, what about delta G, negative or positive? Better delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. We can say both are positive. This is positive, this is also positive. Then what happens? It will depend upon the magnitude. For delta G, if delta H is greater than T delta S, if delta H is greater, sign is positive. Delta G positive, process is non-spontaneous. Opposite, if delta H is less than T delta S, now T delta S plus minus minus, and this is greater, that means sign of delta G is negative, process is spontaneous. Process is spontaneous. Or you can say both are equal. If both are equal, minus plus 10, plus minus minus, minus 10, 0. Delta G 0. Process is at equilibrium. Process is at equilibrium. Second, next case, case 2. Both are negative. Both delta H and T delta S. Both are negative. What about delta G? Beta, again same factors are there. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. This is negative. This is also negative. What happens? If delta H is greater than T delta S, beta T delta S now positive, plus minus minus plus. That means if delta H is greater, delta G negative, process is spontaneous. If delta H less than T delta S, that means this is greater, this is positive, minus minus plus, then delta G is positive. Process is non-spontaneous. If both are equal, delta Z 0. Process is at equilibrium state. Now, case 3, delta H negative, T delta S positive. You will apply delta H negative, T delta S positive. Beta plus minus, minus. Answer is heavily minus. Delta G is highly negative. Process is more spontaneous. Beta process is more spontaneous. And next, reverse this condition. Delta H positive, T delta S negative. Then beta this is positive and this one be negative. Minus minus plus. Answer is positive. Delta G highly positive. If delta G highly positive, process is more non-spontaneous. These are the signs of delta G. For exothermic process, delta G is positive. For endothermic process, delta G is negative, because endothermic processes are non-spontaneous processes. Because endothermic processes are non-spontaneous processes. These are the driving criteria for Gibbs-free energy. These are the driving criteria for Gibbs-free energy. Beta Gibbs-free energy change. If you want to calculate change in Gibbs-free energy for the reaction, Gibbs-free energy change for the reaction, you will take summation of Gibbs-free energy for product minus summation of Gibbs-free energy for reactants. It is the change in Gibbs-free energy. If delta G is negative, process is non-spontaneous. Positive, process is spontaneous. Or 0, it is at equilibrium state. This is all about the thermodynamics and Gibbs-free energy. Thanks.